So, as many of you might know, I spent 3 days in Mexico last week teaching a group of young girls some of the basics of mindset while Kelly taught a barrel racing clinic. And you know what? I learned something in this whole thing of teaching young girls about mindset. I'm like, if there's a hard group to figure out what to teach when it comes to mindset, word coaching, verbiage coaching, it's a group of young ladies. So, but in the end of the day, it reminded me of something powerful. There is a system to transformation and a divine order that starts in the mind and works its way outward. And it's interesting because it was all something that I figured out based on the time that I spent planning for it and then teaching it day to day. I learned as I went. I didn't even know how old the group was going to be until really like the day before. So the planning kind of had to get thrown out the window. And in the end, I used the core to create the actual system. And the system is something that I know is a great way for me to educate in everybody else's life. So do me a huge favor, like this video, share this video, do all the things with this video. Let me see. I don't even have the comments up. So go ahead and pull some, if you guys want to actually say anything, you know what to do. It's Friday. So it's every day I do this. Drop in the comments of what made you smile today. Whenever you're watching this, whether it's live, whether it's later, I don't care. Tell me what made you smile today. Give me some gratitude. Give me some ideas of all the good things going on. If today's one of those days that it's just waking up that made you smile, then great. If you've got something else that's phenomenal, give me a sentence or two. Whatever you got time for, put it in the comments. If you could, if you're interested, if you want to become a better speaker, if you want to learn anything about the art of speaking and storytelling, I teach a free class on Wednesday nights. Join me there. It's a lot of fun. Go to doubledownspeaking.com. It is currently free. So just sign up and go there. I notice if I move my head too fast, my internet isn't happy with me. So weird. I don't know what's going on. Got to get that fixed. Aside from that, I know that some of you may not like the coloring, aka Cash told me he hates how orange I look. I just think it's the look. I think that's what I'm going for. I think it looks all right. If you got feedback on that in the comments, let me know. Let me know. What else do I got for you? Last but not least, go to my Instagram at Anthony Michael Russo and find all the different stuff I do there, including the gear, the merch, the whatever. All my links are there. And of course, it's near the end of the month, summer 25 on the Make Wellness BioPrecision peptides. If you use that at the end for the muscle and metabolic complex, you get $50 off. Kind of a big deal. So make sure you check that out. All right, I'm going to get right into today's because today's a good lesson. So I spent three I spent 3 days in Mexico with a bunch of young girls and then one extra day with the family who were phenomenal. I've talked about how great of an experience it was for a while now, but it reminded me of something powerful as I was trying to figure out how to teach these girls. Part of what I was out there for was, of course, it's Mexico. Kelly didn't know anybody. I got to make sure she's protected. And then I was like, hey, would the girls be interested in me doing some coaching with them? And we did about 45 minutes each day. So I had a game plan and I'm like, all right, these girls are a little older than I thought. I thought they were going to be all like 7 or 8 years old, which would have been really, really difficult. The youngest girl was 8. The oldest girl was 18. Their English was actually very, very good. But we still had a translator, which made it really great. But I started to do something on the first day. The first day I made about shifting mindsets. Day one, we talked about flipping that script in our heads. We talked affirmations where I did the whole I am. I wanted people to write out all the I ams that they believed about themselves that were positive, whether it was I am strong, I am beautiful, I am enough, I am resilient, I am I am funny was a repetitive, it was a very funny group. I am funny, like all these positive things. And then I took them through a whole thing and they had a journal that they had. And I took them through the little booklet and I had them write them down, all the negative thoughts that are in their head. And by the way, as I'm saying this, it's not just for young girls or young boys or kids or whatever. This to me, I realize is a blueprint of a very basic way of shifting your mindset. And it's a routine that you can go through on a daily basis or weekly basis where you can completely recenter yourself as a human, as a person, as somebody that needs that kind of positivity. So that's kind of the gist, and I'm going to get into quick details what I had them do, which again can work for you. A lot of people out there journaling's become very popular, as it should be, because journaling is a great way to start getting your thoughts on paper and shifting mindsets. So they had the affirmations, the I ams, and then I said, all right, pick out your favorite I am. And a lot of them said funny, some said strong. So then I had them write out all of their negatives on one sheet of paper. Just write them. Things that creep into your head, like I'm not enough, I'm weak, I'm a failure. I'm like, keep writing down anything you could possibly think of on one sheet of paper, as much as you could fit. I gave them a couple minutes to do that, and I would encourage you to do the same. So then at the end of that day, as I kind of stress the importance of these kind of shifts and how powerful I ams can be, and the basic ideas behind what it is to have this stronger, more bulletproof mindset, I then had the girls take the negatives, crumple them up in a ball of paper, and then drop that ball of paper into the trash and yell their I am. And when I had them do that, it creates an automatic shift, because fact is, negative thoughts are going to come into our minds all the time. That's just part of being human. What's up, Felicia? I see your comment there. I see you. Good to see. You're on YouTube. So you see, I knew you'd find some social medias. It's kind of a social media. Anyways, so they crumple it up, they throw it, they yell, I am, and it's a shift in their mindset. It's a shift in who they are. So then the next day I threw out my plans, and I was like, all right, I realized that we started with mindset. The next idea is the fact that all of those negative thoughts, just by saying I am, isn't always going to shift it, because you want to do your best to try to make those thoughts not creep into your mind. So how do you do that? You start to learn the power of words and gratitude. So on day 2, I showed them the science behind words, how speaking love and speaking positivity can change the full dynamic that we have in our own world. I gave them the example, which they were pretty surprised by. I think most people are, about the studies done with water. If you yell negative words into water before you freeze it, it'll change the crystalline structure. And our bodies are made up of water, predominantly water. So think about how negative words can affect us and how it perpetrates just a bad juju into our brains. So I had them think of it from that lens and how important it is. And especially for young ladies, I mean, it's for everybody, but young ladies are very typically hard on themselves in their head, peer pressure and what other people think and what other girls, and that negativity, and our self-worth is often rooted in the way we talk about ourselves. So the words we speak don't just land, they actually change us. They change our composition. So then I started to give them the idea of gratitude and saying, this is how you shift that. Every morning, I told them to get on a group text, which I think they were not very good at. But if you have a group of people that are into this kind of stuff with you, do a morning gratitude check. You can have it journals are great. You can have, people can talk about praying first in the morning. People can talk about thinking about what they're grateful for, embracing what they're grateful for, or even writing down what they're grateful for, which is obviously the most powerful way to make the shift. Gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's protection, it's armor going into that day. And I was trying to teach these girls that, and how important it is to first realize how powerful you are when you need to make that drastic shift. I am this. I am strong. I am a conqueror. All these things can be a powerful mindset shift by using those words. But when the words creep in, you've already started to lose the battle, and it's a harder fight. But if every day you can start out differently with a sense of gratitude and positivity in your words, and not allowing yourself to speak poorly about yourselves, you've automatically won from an early stage. And then lastly, the last day, I took them down in the alley, which, if you know barrel racing, it's where the horses go in. Took them down, and I was like, today we're going to work on visualization, because we've talked about the idea of shifting mindset from our words and from our thoughts. But now, if you want a successful mindset for the future, to plan ahead, to be able to achieve big things, to have those dreams and goals, that's where visualization comes in. So I had them close their eyes and actually go through the barrel racing pattern on their own. But that doesn't just fit for barrel racing. It fits for anything and everything, because if you can't close your eyes and visualize what you want out of your day and what you want out of your life, I've got news for you. It most likely is not going to happen. If you don't visualize it, if you can't see it in your own mind, it's very difficult for it to translate into real life. If you can't see it internally, it's going to be incredibly difficult to manifest it externally. And I say very difficult instead of never, because I know there's some people that aren't good at visualization, or it's actually something they can't do. It's a medical condition, and they still have great possibilities. Maybe write it out, find a different way to figure out the cheat code in that. Your vision, however, for most, trains your brain. Your vision trains your brain, and your belief unlocks your next level. So if you want transformation, start with your mindset. Speak with power, see your future, and then by accomplishing those three things, you can become unstoppable. Again, this was, I'm not going to say a happy mistake, but it was a unique byproduct of working with these girls and not knowing what I'm going to talk about kids with every day to entertain them for 30 to 45 minutes up to an hour, that are probably just want to hop on their horses and go have fun. But if it works with kids, I can guarantee you this works with adults. 3-step process. Start learning the basics of how your mindset works and how to shift it, and who you are and who I am, who you are in terms of the positivity you have, the fact that you understand that negative thoughts come in, but you have the ability to throw them out and leave them behind. Then you learn the concept of words and gratitude, and then ultimately visualize your future. Do these three things, you'll become unstoppable. It's the basics. Getting back to basics: mindset, words, vision. That's how you transform. Ladies and gents, thank you for joining. Again, remember to put in the comments what made you smile today. What makes you smile on a regular basis, specifically today, tomorrow, what, I don't care. What was yesterday? All those things. Put that in there. Check out my Instagram at Anthony Michael Russo. That's got the links of all the different things in my bio that I do. And I would love to see some of you on a free Wednesday night speaking class, doubledownspeaking.com, every Wednesday. It's every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central Time. Would love to see you. God bless. Have a great rest of your day. Don't surrender your pets. Don't be a garbage human being. Also on my Instagram, the link is in the bio for my merch and gear, and use truth for 20% off at checkout. God bless. Deuces.